Hello friends, today I want to talk about one of the most important novels in history, namely the book 1984 by George Orwell. Written in 1949, this book quickly became one of the most influential novels of the 20th century and still has a lot to say after all these years. The story of the book takes place in a fictional world called Oceania, which is controlled by a party led by Big Brother. In this world, no one is free, and everyone is under constant surveillance. The main character of the story, Winston Smith, is an employee who works at the Ministry of Truth, and his job is to change history and news according to the party's wishes. In this part of the video, we want to meet the main characters of the story, such as Winston, Julia, and O'Brien, and point out the role of each in the story. We will also discuss the key concepts in the book Big Brother, thought police, new language, and doublethink, and explain what role each of these concepts plays in the story. In the following video, join us as we delve deeper into the story of the book 1984. Tired of living in Oceania, Winston defies the rules of the party. He secretly writes his memoirs and tries to gain information about the past that has been distorted by the party. Meanwhile, Winston meets a girl named Julia, who, like Winston, hates the party. Julia helps Winston join a secret group called the Brotherhood, whose goal is to fight the party. Winston and Julia begin a romantic relationship, but they know that this relationship can have dangerous consequences for them. In a world where no one can trust anyone, love and trust can easily be destroyed. In this part of the story, Winston and Julia face many challenges. They have to meet secretly, escape the thought police, and at the same time, help the Brotherhood. One of the most important events in this part of the story is Winston and Julia meeting O'Brien. O'Brien is a high-ranking member of the party who seems to sympathize with Winston and Julia. Hi. It's great that you, as a YouTuber, introduce the novels to your audience. I would be very happy to help you in this way. Their relationship becomes fearful, and they try to stay as far away from the control of the party and Big Brother as possible. Winston and Julia secretly date and go to an old attic that has become a kind of shelter. There, they meet for the first time and begin their relationship. This forbidden love is a kind of freedom and liberation from the world full of fear and control in which they live. Winston, in addition to Julia, also meets a secret group called the Brotherhood Society. This group is a kind of underground resistance movement that aims to fight the party and Big Brother. Winston joins them in the hope that he can help this group and fight against control. Continued. One of the important things that happens in this part of the book is reading the book The Theory and Practice of Oligarchic Collectivism by Emmanuel Goldstein. Goldstein was once a high-ranking member of the party, but later broke away from the party and is now known as the main enemy of the party. His book is full of information and analysis about the nature of the party, how it controls the people and their real goals. Reading this book makes Winston more familiar with the true nature of the government and the oppression it is inflicting on the people. However, the more Winston and Julia progress in their relationship and the more they are involved with the Brotherhood, the greater the risk of being exposed. The party is always and everywhere spying on and controlling people, and no one can escape their clutches. How love and hope can exist even in the darkest and most hopeless circumstances. But at the same time, the danger and fear that always lurks in these people are well shown. Winston and Julia begin a secret love affair. They meet in a rented room, away from Big Brother's eyes, and enjoy their love. For Winston and Julia, this love is a kind of resistance to the oppressive system of the party. By loving each other, they maintain their individual freedom in a way. However, Winston and Julia's love and hope do not last long. They are arrested by the thought police and transferred to the Ministry of Love. There, they are tortured and forced to confess their betrayal of each other and their ideals. Winston encounters a character named O'Brien. O'Brien is a high-ranking member of the party who tortures Winston. He shows Winston how the party uses torture and indoctrination to force people to accept their desired truth. Winston finally surrenders to the party and falls in love with Big Brother. He no longer has any hope of changing the system and becomes a completely obedient person. Room 101. One of the scariest places in the Ministry of Love is Room 101. In this room, everyone is confronted with their worst fears. Winston's fear is rats. They do something that makes Winston so afraid that he is willing to sacrifice Julia instead of himself and tell the party that he loves Big Brother. After this torture, Winston is no longer the same person he was before. He no longer has any feelings for Julia and only thinks about Big Brother. The story of the book 1984 has a very bitter ending and shows how a dictatorial government can control even people's thoughts and feelings. This was a useful summary of the book 1984. Dear friends, to support me, subscribe to the Roman Reader 369 channel right now. Thank you very much. Leave us an energetic like, which will really motivate us to produce better and more videos for you, my dears.